So I was just sitting at home right now doing some work and I got a message on my phone saying that a package has been delivered from China. So let's go pick it up. Hey buddy, what's up? Are you excited for the OPPO Find N5? So we got a few packages. This and this is the phone. Hey guy, this is the world's thinnest foldable phone, the OPPO N5. What do you think of it?
Wait, actually?
Yeah, it's so thin, right?
What the? Yo! It's so light.
It's really light, yeah. And it folds. Is that crazy? Foldables have come a long way, but this one might be the best yet. I've tested every Galaxy Fold since the original, spent time with the Pixel Fold 2, and even daily drove the OnePlus Open, which until now was my favorite foldable device. But then I got my hands on the OPPO Find N5 Fold, and man, this thing might just change everything. Today I'm breaking down exactly why this is my new favorite foldable, and how it stacks up against Samsung's latest, the Galaxy Z Fold 6. Let's get into it. Alright, so let's talk design, because that's one of the biggest factors in how a foldable feels to use every single day. One of the reasons why I don't daily drive a foldable is because I find the form factor to be kind of awkward. Until now, that is. The OPPO Find N5 is officially the world's thinnest book-style foldable at just 4.21mm when unfolded. That's almost 30% thinner than the Z Fold 6, which comes in at 12.1mm thick. And when it comes to the weight, OPPO absolutely nailed it. This thing is only 229 grams, which is just 2 grams heavier than the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Compare that to the Z Fold 6, which weighs 239 grams, and you can actually feel the difference when holding them side by side. OPPO's ultra light and slim body makes it feel more like a traditional flagship smartphone rather than a bulky foldable. Then there's the grip. OPPO went with flat sides and contoured edges, which makes it more comfortable to hold for long periods of time. Meanwhile, Samsung's Z Fold 6 still has slightly rounded sides, and while that does help with ergonomics, it doesn't feel as premium or as solid in the hands as OPPO's titanium grade aluminum build. The OPPO Find N5 has an 8.12-inch LTPO inner display with a 2248 by 2480 resolution and 412 ppi. It gets 1400 nits outdoors and peaks at 2100 nits, which is one of the brightest foldable displays ever. On top of that, it's the largest foldable display in the industry right now. For comparison, the Galaxy Z Fold 6 has a 7.6-inch inner display with a 2160 by 1856 resolution. It's a bit smaller with slightly lower resolution and pixel density. Samsung also upped the brightness this year, but it still peaks at 2600 nits. So it does win in peak brightness, but a brighter display doesn't always mean better. It's how the display feels in actual use that matters. Now, one of the biggest complaints with foldables is the crease in the middle. The Find N3 already had one of the shallowest creases, but the Find N5 takes it even further. The crease is now 10% narrower and 30% shallower. When you swipe across the screen, you barely feel it. The Z Fold 6 is still using the ultra-thin glass, and while the crease has improved, it's still more visible and noticeable compared to OPPO's. Then there's the outer screen, which is where Samsung foldables usually have a compromise. The Z Fold 6 sticks with a 6.3-inch outer screen, but it still has that narrow, tall 22:9 aspect ratio, making it feel more cramped compared to traditional phones. Now, OPPO on the other hand decided to go with a 6.62-inch LTPO outer display at 2616 by 1140 resolution and 431 ppi. It's also brighter at 1600 nits outdoors and peaking at 2450 nits. But the best part is the aspect ratio is 20:7:9, which is way closer to a normal smartphone. This means no weird scaling, no cramped keyboard, and it just feels like a regular phone when it's closed. So if you want the bigger inner display with the least noticeable crease and an outer screen that actually feels normal, the Find N5 Fold is looking pretty strong here. Now, when you're daily driving a foldable, it's not just about how big the screen is, it's about how smooth it feels. And this is where OPPO really flexes. The Fold N5's crease is nearly invisible, but more importantly, you don't feel it when you're swiping across the display. That's a big deal. Samsung has improved its crease over the years, but on the Z Fold 6, you still feel that indent when scrolling or dragging apps. OPPO's hinge and display tech just make the entire experience feel more like a traditional slab phone. And if you're watching HDR content, OPPO's display is built for that. The 8.12-inch inner screen is the largest on any foldable and supports Dolby Vision, so content really pops. The Fold N5 also features an anti-reflective coating, which is absolutely stunning. No glares, and it sort of has this matte-like finish to it without muting the colors. It's a really impressive inner display. But it's not just the display that makes this thing comfortable to use. The hinge plays a huge role. OPPO calls this the titanium flexion hinge, and OPPO claims it's the most advanced and durable hinge ever made. It's crafted from grade 5 titanium, which is stronger and lighter than the material Samsung is using. The hinge is 36% more rigid while being 26% smaller, meaning you get a more compact and durable folding mechanism. And because this phone is thinner and lighter, using it for hours on end doesn't feel tiring. A lot of foldables, especially the early ones, started feeling bulky after a while. But with the Find N5 Fold, you're basically holding something that feels as light as a traditional flagship smartphone, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. The Find N5 has also obtained the prestigious TUV Rayland Reliable Folding certification, including being tested in temperatures of -20 degrees to 50 degrees for more than 100,000 fold-unfold cycles, which is pretty ridiculous for a foldable. When it comes to biometrics, OPPO has kept it simple, with a side-mounted fingerprint scanner and face unlock, which is fast and reliable. Samsung also has the same setup, so no huge difference here. And finally, water resistance. This has always been a challenge for foldables, but OPPO just overcame it completely. The Find N5 Fold is the first foldable in the world to have an IPX6, IPX8, and IPX9 certifications. This means it can survive rain, accidental drops in water, and even high-pressure water jets. The Z Fold 6 still has an IP48 rating, which is good, but OPPO just raised the bar in water resistance. But now let's talk about the performance, because this is where OPPO is making some serious strides. The Find N5 Fold is actually the first foldable powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset. Meanwhile, the Z Fold 6 is still using the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy, which is fast but not as efficient as OPPO's chip. The difference might not be huge for day-to-day tasks, but over time the Find N5 should run cooler and maintain better battery life. And speaking of the battery life, OPPO has straight up destroyed the competition here. It packs a massive 5600 mAh silicon carbon battery. That's almost 30% larger than any competing foldable, and even bigger than most traditional smartphones. For comparison, the Z Fold 6 is still running a 4400 mAh battery, which honestly feels tiny at this point. Samsung has made some software optimization, but let's be real, physics wins. A bigger battery is a bigger battery, and OPPO does large way longer on a single charge. But OPPO didn't just stop there. They also brought in insanely fast charging. 80 watts Super VOOC wired charging means that you can fully charge this thing in under 50 minutes. The Z Fold 6 is still stuck at 25 watts, which honestly feels ancient at this point. And for wireless charging, OPPO supports 50 watts wireless charging, while Samsung is still sitting at 15 watts. That's more than 3 times faster. But hardware is only half the story. A foldable is really only as good as its software, and this is where OPPO and Samsung take very different approaches. The Find N5 Fold runs ColorOS 15, which is heavily optimized for foldables. OPPO has put a huge focus on multitasking, making it feel natural and fluid. You can run 3 apps side by side, resize windows on the fly, and even drag and drop between apps effortlessly. Meanwhile, Samsung Z Fold 6 runs One UI 6.1.1 on top of Android 14. And to be honest, Samsung has been the king of foldable software for years. Features like Flex Mode, the taskbar, and S Pen support make the Z Fold 6 a powerhouse for productivity. But OPPO software does one thing better. It actually feels optimized for a foldable. ColorOS takes full advantage of the larger inner display, letting apps scale properly without zero weird UI issues. Samsung still struggles with some apps not playing nice with the foldable form factor. And while the taskbar is useful, OPPO's multitasking gestures and window management feels more intuitive. And then we have the AI. With the Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, the Find N5 Fold gets some serious AI-powered features, like real-time text translations, enhanced voice-to-text, and AI-assisted image processing. Samsung also has AI features, including generative AI editing, and many other features powered by Google. Both phones perform really well when it comes to AI capabilities. Now, when it comes to stylus support, the Z Fold 6 supports the S Pen Fold Edition, which is great if you like taking notes or drawing on a big screen. OPPO also supports its OPPO Pen, which does work on both the inner and the outer display. Now, the Find N5 Fold comes with a feature called AI Link Boost 2.0, which is OPPO's next-gen single enhancement algorithm. It's paired with a 360-degree surround antenna system, meaning no matter how you hold the phone, you're getting the best possible connection. And this isn't just marketing. OPPO claims that in places places where signals are usually weak, like elevators, subways, and parking garages, the connection does still remain stable. Even in real-world scenarios like uploading videos at a packed concert or watching short videos in an elevator, OPPO's AI-driven adaptive antenna system improves speed and reliability. Now let's talk file sharing and ecosystem integration. This is where an app called OPPO Connect comes in, OPPO's version of Apple's ecosystem magic. With ColorOS 15, transferring files between OPPO devices and even iPhones or iPad is now super seamless. But what's really impressive is the new OPPO Connect for Mac. You can now install OPPO on your Mac and connect both devices to the same Wi-Fi, and instantly preview photos and videos from your Find N5 Fold directly onto your Mac without downloading them. And this isn't some slow cloud syncing nonsense. Even large video files take less than a second of buffering. You can transfer 100 photos from your phone to your Mac in just 8 seconds. Even better, you can open files stored on your phone, edit them on your Mac, and save them directly back to your phone. It's like AirDrop, but on steroids. Personally, for me, that's a game changer because I do use a MacBook for editing videos and a lot of my creative work. So being able to preview, edit, and transfer files this seamlessly makes my workflow so much smoother. Now, Samsung does have Quick Share, which works well within the Galaxy ecosystem, and Nearby Share for Androids, but there's no real native Mac integration. For creators using both Android and Mac, OPPO is miles ahead. The bottom line is, if you want better multitasking, AI features, and UI that actually feels built for foldables, the Find N5 Fold takes it. Alright, so let's talk about the cameras, because this is usually where foldables have to compromise. But OPPO is actually delivering flagship level hardware here. The Find N5 Fold comes with a 50 megapixel main sensor, a 50 megapixel telephoto lens, and an 8 megapixel ultrawide. It supports 3x optical zoom, 6x lossless zoom, and a new AI-powered telescope zoom that kicks in at 10x and beyond. For comparison, the Z Fold 6 has a 50 megapixel main sensor, a 10 megapixel 3x telephoto, and a 12 megapixel ultrawide. On paper, Samsung's telephoto is weaker. It can only go up to 3x optical zoom, while OPPO can do 6x lossless zoom thanks to its higher resolution telephoto sensor. And then there's AI telescope zoom. This is something OPPO has been working on for a while, and it's pretty impressive for zoom photography. Once you hit 10x zoom or higher, the AI analyzes the image at a pixel level and uses the full 50 megapixel resolution of the telephoto sensor to restore lost details. Basically, you're getting a zoom shot that looks way sharper and more natural than what most phones can pull off at that range. For video, OPPO isn't holding back either. 4K Dolby Vision HDR on all their cameras. That means whether you're shooting on the main, telephoto, or ultra-wide, you're getting high resolution, smooth footage across the board. Now, the Z Fold 6 also supports 4K HDR video shooting, but not in Dolby Vision. Alright, so breaking it all down, which foldable actually wins? The Galaxy Z Fold 6, in my opinion, is a refinement of Samsung's formula. If you're deep in Samsung's ecosystem, it's a solid upgrade. But the OPPO Find N5 Fold is on another level. Thinner, lighter, and more durable with a titanium build. A bigger, better inner display with less crease visibility and higher brightness for HDR content. Way better battery life with a 5600 mAh battery, super fast charging, 80 watts wired and 50 watts wireless, stronger AI features in my opinion with AI call summary, AI telescope zoom, and better multitasking optimization. OPPO Connect makes it a beast for creators, especially if you use a Mac for work like I do. And better optimized cameras with next-gen AI zoom tech. Honestly, Samsung set the standard for foldables, but OPPO is pushing the industry forward. The Find N5, in my opinion, isn't just better, it's redefining what a foldable should be. So yeah, this is my new favorite foldable ever, and it's the device I'm going to be daily driving all of 2025. That's how ridiculously good this phone is. If you made it all the way till the end of this video, drop a dolphin emoji down in the comments below. I would love to know who my true supporters are. And if you're into tech that pushes boundaries, make sure to subscribe. I've got some crazy videos coming up that you guys do not want to miss. That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to flex with your crazy foldable hinge tech.